transformation optimization part. So everyone after, yeah, today is the very big day. Like we India, our team was champion today. So after that I just starting our topic as well. So today I will explain about the optimizing transformations. So in Informatica there is multiple transformation, right? So how to suppose already you have developed, right, that transformation inside your mapping. So how to optimize that transformation you have already used, right? Suppose how many transformation, like many transformation inside Informatica we are using uh, right now, right? So that transformation if you use, and how to use, optimizing is nothing but that is the process how to use actual. That's what then suppose very initial level when we are going to develop some anything, then that time we just use, and we're not caring like everything, like what will uh, how to use, right, perfectly. And that kind of thing when we grow and grow up our data and just collect more huge data, right? So in that case then our performance was degrading, right? Then we are observing here there is performance required. So then optimization part is comes in picture in any area, not for only Informatica, in any area, like if you work on Oracle, that where also we are using optimization, right? So similar way in transformation area like Informatica, where Informatica provided us the transformation, right? And the transformation is nothing that is they're just transforming the data in the multiple way according to your business requirements, right? So here is many things, many transformation which we are going to use, and I will explain how to use one by one. So this is a very big transformation because our bone, right, there's the main pillar of the transformation we are using, right? Suppose we take the data from source qualifier, we transfer in target, right? But in between what things we are using, we are using the, we are transferring by which way we are transferring the transformation way. The transformation is the multiple transfer, not single one, because suppose you are want some summation of data, then you are using some aggregator kind of some custom transformation, some joiner, some lookup, like. So these topics I will cover one by one, but yeah, detail, not in hurry. So in my channel, like I want to be someone to train, like become a very deep knowledge, not to very short knowledge, right? So who wants like in deep knowledge and want to learn, right? So that don't go and multiple time revise and revise. Suppose you first time you learn, right, a very deep way, you can't go and multiple time required to learn everything. So that is the my main intention. And everyone can learn, right, who are working for data warehousing or who are the fresher as well, right? So they are want to become an ETL developer or something, so they can also learn one by one in our channel. Or most of the thing I will explain in detail one by one. In going forward I will create some playlist I will, so that everyone can take a benefit. Yeah. So in this topic, in this chapter I will included like the optimizing aggregator transformation, optimizing customer custom, yeah, all those I will explain. So first I will explain about the aggregator transformation, how to optimize the aggregator. Aggregator is actually we are using for what? You are using for the aggregate the value, right? Suppose we are sending multiple transformations or taking the data from employee table, employee having the salary and department information as well, right? So I need the data in summation for department wise, right, salary, so that I can understand how much amount I need to pay. As a employer I want to know how much salary I need to pay to employee to the particular department wise. So that kind of information if I need, I took the small example, but yeah, this you can relate this example to as a big as well, right? You have a organization, big organization, right? And just take example for Amazon is selling the product for multiple region, rights they want and there are multiples like partners for delivery partners. So he wants how much he pay to delivery partners for the region wise. So how it will take that, it will take the aggregate by this way. So it will understand how much salary they uh, pay to our delivery partners, right? And how much sold that item, how many, under they can aggregate the product wise analysis, right? So how much product was selling particular area, who is taking, who is the generation, right? Suppose based on your data, like you have enroll your in their app. So this kind of information you can took by the aggregator transformation. So here I just try to explain some point wise what is the meaning of that point. Like aggregator transformation often slow performance. Why often slow performance? Because they must group data before processing. They what I told you, like for took the employee table, and their employee table having multiple things, right? Employee, just take example here. I'm taking example as a employee table, right? Here employee table, employee table, okay. And in employee table having the multiple information, just like employee name, department, salary, right? And other part also, like location as well. So I need that suppose a summation of information. That's what here is tells that they want a grouping, must group before processing. Suppose before sending to our target, they want to processing here, right? Grouping, the grouping here, where he want to group, here is ags, right? ags means aggregator transformation would be there. Here is just aggregate, right? There is some group port will be tag, right? So that's what they told, you must group your data before processing. So aggregator transformation need additional memory. So suppose there is required some memory so that they can uh, process, aggregate that data, right? To hold the memory, I mean intermediate group result, use the following guideline. What kind of guidelines to optimize the performance of aggregator? These are the guidelines. First guideline is group by simple column. Just take the simple column, don't take unnecessary regular expression or something, right? So that don't otherwise it will be take huge time to process that particular area, right? So now after that, use always sorted input. If your input is not sorted, just before the aggregator, you can use the sorter transformation. So that, and sort by some sorter transformation. Sorter transformation is very much required before the aggregator, so that you can sort based on the sorting. They it will be easy in aggregator to read that data by sequencing wise, right? So always just keep in mind, suppose you are going to use aggregator transformation, in that case before aggregator you can use the one sorter transformation, correct? After that, use incremental aggregation. Aggregation, why you're telling use incremental aggregation? Incremental means suppose you have using, there is two options, like truncate and dot, and there in incremental process. So suppose you have already inserted your historical data, right? And you are taking the data from the database. Suppose you're the OLTP, right? And suppose there is some ERP system, you're taking the data, daily transactional data, right? So based on some date, right? Suppose previous date was took already, whatever the update date or something, update and insert, right? So new data always you are taking. So always just keep in mind where you are using. You use the always on incremental aggregation. So after that, fourth point is filter data before you aggregate. Suppose you unnecessary data don't use in filter transformation. If you know, like the data is not required, then you can just filter out that data, so that you can unnecessary processing is not happen during the process, okay? So that's what we suggesting, to filter out those record who are not which are not in used and unnecessary they are processing, just included us, right? So there is no meaning of that record. So you can filter out those record. And now after that, there the limit port connection. Don't connect all port, right? Unnecessary port. Whatever the port required as per your target, that port you can only tag. Unnecessary port is not tag. Based on the target, you can use the port connection. Correct. So these are the some limitations. Yeah. Now after that there is some other point, that group by simple column. In column you can use the very simple column, don't use the complex column, right? After that you can optimize aggregator transformation. When you group by simple column, when possible use numbers instead of string. Okay, where it because string having the main more characters, so instead of string you can use the number. Just try to number if we require, like there is no other option, then you can use. But if any option like number, suppose I need the department data, right? Department, I need the department number group by, not a name. So just like that you can use the same way. And a date in the column used for the group by. Okay, avoid complex expression in the aggregation in aggregator transformation. Correct. Using sorted input, that what I already explained. So to increase session performance, sort data for aggregator transformation. Okay, use the sorted of input option to sort the data. Correct. That is, so the sorted input option decrease the use of aggregate cache. Okay, because you're not when you're using anything in sequence, just as layman language, suppose you want to identify find out anything, right? If any particular item or things are in sequence, then it's easy to find out. The same way in our programming area also, that in if you want your transformation wants to search anything, because they created the cache, right? Cache memory. And suppose your unsorted input is there, right? So how to identify? It will take time, it will process, but it will take time. So suppose I when I sorted that input, then it will be easy to identify and sort those data. So after that, the sorted input option decrease the use of aggregated cache. When you use the sorted or input option, the integration service assume all data is sorted by a group. Okay, the as the integration service reads row for a group, it perform aggregate calculation. Okay, when necessary, whenever it necessary, then it will perform the aggregator on particular those data. It store. Okay, group, it store group information memory. The sorted input option reduce the amount of data cache during the session and improve the performance, because unnecessary they are not going to create the cache. So if you're not going to create unnecessary cache, then it will be improve the our session performance. Okay, that's what always we are guiding everyone with the ATL guide, that whenever is required, right, we are using transformation, then before and after what is required, that you will be keep in mind and use those things. Otherwise your performance will be degrade. So the number of sorted input option or sorted transformation to pass sorted data to the aggregator transformation. Then you can increase performance when you use the sorted input option in session with multiple partition. Correct? Yeah. So now using incremental aggregation. Suppose when you are use the incremental aggregation, if you can capture like capture when you use capture changes from the source, that effect, like if you are OLTP, right? OLTP gives some effective date, insert date, update date. Based on that, based on any data, right, you are picking the source data. So based on that, half the target, you can use incremental aggregation to optimize the performance of aggregation transformation. When you use the incremental aggregation, you apply captured changes in the source to aggregate calculation in a session. The integration service update the target incrementally rather than processing the entire source and recalculating the same calculation every time. Okay, so you run the session. You can increase the indexes and the data cache size to hold all data in memory without paging to disk. So these are the process. Suppose we are suggesting to use incremental aggregation. So these are the 3 points. You keep that point so that you can increase your performance, session performance. Okay. Now next point is filtering data before you aggregate. Suppose unnecessary data, what I explained in a previous session, previous slide, that there, suppose if don't tag all data, right? Suppose that data is not required for your transformation or target, then you can filter out those data. So that's what we are suggesting. You can filter the data before you aggregate it. If you use a filter transformation in the mapping, place the transformation before the aggregator transformation to reduce unnecessary aggregation. Limiting port connection, limit the number of connected input, output, or output port, okay, to reduce the amount of data the aggregator transformation stores in the data cache. Correct? So these are all about the aggregator transformation. Okay. So I was explain these points in next point, next session. I will explain the custom then joiner, because there is very huge, right? And parallelly I will explain some technical part as well, so that everyone can understand. Here is just summarizing what I was explain in session. There is aggregator, right? In the aggregator, what things need to be captured, right? So always use sorted input, right? Incremental data, filter data before you aggregate, limit port connection, right? Don't connect. Suppose I need 4 columns, so you have put it out entire columns. So not necessary. Unnecessary. This is the processing, right? At a session level. So that's avoid those things. And grouping by simple column, not a complex column. You can add the group by, so that it right. Use sorted input always. So those kind of things for aggregator transformation. So just revisit, just to go one by one in all slide. I just understand. And if any question, anything, you can just uh, ping me, comment me here. I will try to explain as well. For those who are the production support guys, that one also he can learn, right? How to things, right? How to monitor. So that part, because the production support is not required mostly for the detail level, but yeah, they, those suppose you are they can just guide, right? As a developer to developer, if your performance is degrading, their throughput is coming low, then they are the performance issue kind of. So that session I will also took is very alone, so don't worry. Okay. So thanks for watching my channel. Just keep subscribe, so that I can take advantage, right? But yeah, I will uh, day by day I will increase and try to explain everything, right? Once this informatica get over, I will start the cloud as well, but everything will be in detail, not a very short, like 20 day 10 days, right? So that every can one learn once and perform long time, right? That's kind of my approach. So keep me to, just try to subscribe, like, share to everyone who is just interested, and try to share with who is the freshers, right, who are starting career, so that they can learn deep. Don't every in life there is no anything is fast, right? Everything is fast, but nothing is fast. So just try to watch carefully and understand everything what is going on. Okay. So thanks for watching. Yeah.